Since the 87th Academy Awards held in 2014, I've watched the Oscars every year pretty religiously. And if there's one thing that every year is made abundantly clear, it's that the Academy messes stuff up. A lot. And this year especially has the opportunity to be a year that they royally screw up. Should 1917 win Best Picture? Should Joaquin Phoenix win Best Actor? These are all very valid questions that will be answered on February 9th, but in the meantime, I thought we could take a look at some of the categories that are a bit in contention, and in doing so, I could give some insight onto the films that I think might get swept under the rug. If I was deemed the sole voter of the Academy and I was crowned Mr. Oscar, what are the films that I think should be nominated and what are the films that I think should win? No, this isn't a prediction of what I think will be nominated or what I think will win, but these are the films that I think are the most deserving to win. So we're gonna look at 8 of the 24 categories. We're gonna look at Best Director, Best Original and Adapted Screenplay. We're going to look at Best Actor and Actress. We're going to look at Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress. And of course, we're going to look at Best Picture. First up, we have Best Director. Now, this category this year is pretty stacked, and at this point, I think it's really anybody's game. In the category of Best Director, the nominees are Robert Eggers, The Lighthouse; Celine Sciamma, Portrait of a Lady on Fire; Greta Gerwig, Little Women; Bong Joon-ho, Parasite; Lulu Wang, The Farewell. And the Oscar goes to Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. Like I said, this category is packed this year, and it's full of really talented people who made very impressive films. But I think the work that he puts on display in this film is absolutely miraculous, and it needs to be recognized by the Academy. I don't think that he's getting enough love this award season. Next up, we have Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, this is a category that I have a feeling that I will see pretty eye to eye with the Academy on, maybe give or take a movie or two. The nominees are The Irishman, written by Steven Zaillian; Jojo Rabbit, written by Taika Waititi; Little Women, written by Greta Gerwig; The Two Popes, written by Anthony McCartan; A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, written by Noah Harpster and Micah Fitzgerald Blue. And the Oscar goes to Greta Gerwig for Little Women. This is a year that's full of films that explore the ideas of how you can be yourself, and it examines what are the things that make up our character. And with what Greta Gerwig does with Little Women is she not only adapts the original source material, but she builds on it in a way that fits a more contemporary and a more modern context. All right, now we have Best Original Screenplay. Now this is a category that I don't really think that I'm going to align with the Academy too much on, maybe a movie here or there, but I think we're going to differ quite a bit. For Best Original Screenplay, the nominees are Marriage Story, written by Noah Baumbach; Parasite, written by Bong Joon-ho and Jin Won Han; The Farewell, written by Lulu Wang; Knives Out, written by Ryan Johnson; and The Lighthouse, written by Robert and Max Eggers. And the Oscar goes to Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story. There are a lot of films that in this category this year also have things in common. There's films in this category that deal with things of family and tradition and culture, and then you have The Lighthouse doing its own weird ass thing. But I think with Marriage Story, Baumbach pays such close attention to detail and to characters and to motivation. And I think with this film, he strikes the perfect balance between emotion and realism. Every time I watch this movie, I find new things to love about it, and I just can't wait to see what Baumbach is working on next. Oh, he's making a Barbie movie. All right. Up next, we have Best Actor. Again, this is a category full of amazing work and very talented people that give performances that are probably going to be pretty career defining for them. Unfortunately, though, I don't think the Academy and I are probably going to agree on this category, and I don't think that there's going to be a ton of overlap between the two of us. For Best Actor, the nominees are Taron Egerton, Rocketman; Adam Driver, Marriage Story; Robert Pattinson, The Lighthouse; Adam Sandler, Uncut Gems; Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. And the Oscar goes to Adam Driver for Marriage Story. The work that he delivers in this film is nothing short of remarkable, and I know that there's a lot of people that like to show or tweet out that scene. You probably know the scene that I'm talking about as being the scene from this movie, but believe it or not, there's actually a whole lot of movie left in which he's absolutely incredible. Adam Driver is one of the finest actors working today, and I think with Marriage Story, he delivers his best work yet, and it's a performance that's up there among my favorites of the decade. Up next, we have Best Actress. Now, I feel that in this category, this is where I'm going to disagree the most heavily with the Academy, but I guess we'll see. I just want to say a little disclaimer before I give the nominations though. I have not seen Judy, starring Renee Zellweger, and I've heard that she is nothing short of fantastic in that film, but she will not be included among my nominees because I haven't seen the movie yet. For Best Actress, the nominees are Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story; Awkwafina, The Farewell; Lupita Nyong'o, Us; Florence Pugh, Midsummer; Elizabeth Moss, Her Smell. And the Oscar goes to Florence Pugh, Midsummer. Horror films have the unfortunate habit of being cast aside by the Academy Award and not being recognized for some of the incredible work on display in these films. I'm still not over it yet. But seriously though, the performance that she delivers in this film is incredibly well done, and I think actually Lupita Nyong'o is just behind her as giving the second best performance of the year, also in a horror movie. But I think because of not only this performance that Florence Pugh gave this year, but also her work in Little Women, I've got to give her the award. Up next, we have the category of Best Supporting Actor. Now, I feel that this category is going to be filled with some legendary names in Hollywood, and I'm very curious to see who's actually going to take home the trophy this year. For Best Supporting Actor, the nominees are Willem Dafoe, The Lighthouse; Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood; Al Pacino, The Irishman; Song Kang-ho, Parasite; Joe Pesci, The Irishman. And the Oscar goes to Willem Dafoe for The Lighthouse. This is a performance that I can't really imagine anyone else being able to do or even having the courage to do. He is absolutely outstanding in this film. And what is almost worse is I don't even think that the Academy is going to even recognize him. They're not even going to nominate him for this movie, which is absolutely criminal. My fingers are crossed, guys, but I don't think it's looking good for Mr. Dafoe, which absolutely sucks. Up next, we have Best Supporting Actress. Now, this is a category that I think is pretty up in the air at this point, but nonetheless, I don't really think that they're going to agree with me too much, but again, I guess we'll see. For Best Supporting Actress, the nominees are Margot Robbie, Bombshell; Laura Dern, Marriage Story; Jennifer Lopez, Hustlers; Adele Haenel, Portrait of a Lady on Fire; Park So-dam, Parasite. And the Oscar goes to Adele Haenel, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. I would say that this film is probably my pick for the most underappreciated movie of the year. I wouldn't even say that it's underrated because from what I've heard, a lot of the people that watch this film really can't stop raving about it. And this movie, much like Parasite or The Farewell, have the disadvantage of being foreign language films, so a lot of American audiences just aren't interested in watching these movies, which is a real bummer. Well, now we've reached the moment that you all have been waiting for, the coveted Best Picture prize. There were a lot of good movies that came out this past year, but it's unfortunate that the Academy didn't see them. For Best Picture, the nominees are The Lighthouse, 1917, Marriage Story, Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, Little Women, The Farewell, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And the Oscar goes to Parasite, written and directed by Bong Joon-ho. Are any of you surprised? I mean, are you kidding me? Without a doubt, Parasite's the best movie of the year, and it absolutely should win Best Picture. Are they gonna do that? Probably not, but you know, they've been wrong before. Bong Joon-ho just made straight up one of the best movies of the decade, and the fact that you're gonna tell me that this movie isn't better than these films, I think you're out of your mind. Well guys, the Oscar nominations drop this Monday, and the official ceremony is on February 9th. How many categories will we agree on? My guess, not many. So my question to you guys is, what films and what performances do you think that these awards should go to? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you for watching today, and I hope you liked today's video. And if you did, you can click on the link down below where you can subscribe to my channel to see more movie reviews and movie related things. And guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.